Good Saturday, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center. We were hoping to get out of the day without a severe thunderstorm warning, but this time of year, unfortunately, these warnings just kind of pop up on us here. We've had some storms around to land that Gator Baseball Super Regional game number 2 there against South Carolina. They're about to get underway there after about a 2.5-hour delay in Gainesville, but unfortunately, toward Palatka, a severe thunderstorm threat, meaning not just lightning, but actually we could have some larger hail to about an inch in diameter and some damaging winds to about 60 miles an hour toward Palatka and East Palatka here in Putnam County. Seeing some nasty indications with this storm compared to the one yesterday that prompted a warning for a similar area. So we wanted to jump in here with this coverage right now to let you know the latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family here. So again, watching things around Palatka right now in Putnam County until about 5:45. This is a severe thunderstorm warning here that's in place. You want to be inside. You want to be away from windows here in this area right now as we're looking toward parts of Putnam County within the viewing circle. So again, unfortunately, stuff kind of popping up here on this Saturday. Heavy downpours in here, no doubt, right around Palatka. Starting to see a little bit of a shift here in the worst of this maybe, but still getting that wind energy to show up here in this area right now as we do some different tools, Roy, and analysis with those. So again, I just continue to watch things as this kind of developed there on the south side of Palatka with the warning being issued. So again, a nasty situation right now around Putnam County. A severe thunderstorm warning in play at about 5:45. So just trying to give you guys the latest. You see Gainesville, I know that baseball series, the weather looking a lot better over there now. That's good news. We actually did have a damage report. We didn't have a warning up here, but we had a damage report toward Madison County a little bit earlier on where a tree was down near the intersection of State Road 53 and County Road 253. So that was around 4:30, it looks like. No official warning in play there, so we have had some damage, though. Despite that, here this afternoon, as we're now starting to enter more up into toward those early evening hours on this Saturday, when people are out and about, obviously trying to do different things around the region. So let's go ahead and pull up our coverage map here. Again, we're talking about Putnam County. That's part of our 62 county zone here. Again, yesterday's storm wasn't quite looking as robust as the one here today. That's toward this area. This one lasting for a little bit longer as well. There's always a chance, instead of just the wind that you get here being more of this straight line nature. I mean, you could always get a quick spin up, but that's not likely here. What could be more likely is just a burst of wind energy toward the surface. So, got to bear that in mind here as we're looking toward this area in the viewing circle here right now. Again, it's severe thunderstorm warning in play. 4 areas around Palatka here in Putnam County. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to get some reports of some hail around Palatka here. Probably even some of this hail was falling before the warning was issued here. Unfortunately, it looks like it just kind of developed right over town. So that means more viewers here, more people in play to have seen some nastier conditions. I don't know if this would cause too much damage in size hail, if that's what actually happened. Wouldn't necessarily cause too much damage, but still, it's popped up very rapidly in terms of intensification process. The latest hail Roy tracker has it down to about a half inch in size, but you can see here right around 12 after the hour, we had a hail signature starting to intensify on us on the north side of town. I mean, even there, about 10 after you started to see that come together, there's your warning there, and then you see it right there, right in town, right when the warning is issued is when it starts to become more of a problem even. So, unfortunately, not too much time to react, possibly, but it's in like a tornado situation, so it's just that's how it goes sometimes this time of year. Things can pop up very rapidly here. I mean, within a minute or two of the warning, the hail that could have been to an end. Hopefully it wasn't, because we're just kind of thinking the environment may not support that down toward the surface here, but if it was, it's only about an inch in diameter as it went across Palatka, and now it seems like as soon as it's made it across Palatka, it started to kind of dwindle down in its strength a little bit. So Again, we're just going to keep watching things here in the weather center. Again, that just popped up very quickly. Most of these storms today have not been all that close to becoming severe. So this one really kind of accelerated in its intensity here pretty rapidly as the situation does evolve here. You can see the temperatures across the region. Some of these areas are a lot cooler than others, but there's no formal risk of severe weather locally here today. So that's the good news, even though we did have a damaging wind situation, it seems, toward with some damage being reported in Madison County. But as you look toward Putnam County, as we have this warning right now, let me go ahead and move the map over real quick. I know we have a severe thunderstorm watch, including Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I know they've had some trouble with their baseball regional there against Tennessee, super regional, excuse me. And then as we look over toward the west here a little bit more, you can see they've had trouble toward Fort Worth with the super regional there for TCU. The weather's kind of not right the worst over them right now. There's just a severe thunderstorm watch in play for a while out there. The watch goes until it looks like, I click on this here, till about 10 o'clock Central Time. So you have to pay attention. Hopefully things will clear out earlier up toward the north. Baton Rouge, I know they're not starting for a while with their baseball super regionals. So again, I'm just continuing to watch things here in the weather center, trying to give you the latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family here. Just trying to see how we had this storms out toward the west. Some pretty nasty weather conditions out there as we were looking at, unfortunately, toward North Texas. There's an enhanced risk of 3 out of 5 risk there with some hail, some wind possibilities in play here. That could be a little more on the robust side. It's a little bit of a tornado threat as well. Threats will be kind of picking up as we look across the nation in the coming days here too. So things are getting more active. They've been kind of quiet across the country in terms of major severe threats here lately. I know there's been that air quality problem though across quite a bit of the nation that we've been tracking. By the way, you can see Madison County there. Another report of a tree being knocked down near the intersection of Belleville Road and Oak Hill Road there. So now 2 different damage reports. I'll back this up so you can see both of them here on the screen. You can see around the Palatka community as we get toward there. Just kind of giving you guys an idea of what happened. I mean, 2 of these reports about the same general region here, 20 minutes apart now it seems. At 4:30, tree down near the intersection of State Road 53 and County Road 253 around Cherry Lake. And then there's, we're looking toward the east, a tree down near the intersection of Belleville Road and Oak Hill Road. So that's 450. So definitely nasty weather conditions around there. As we've added that up, I'll go back to the current frame now. Seems like that signature's trying to re-strengthen to the south a little, possibly. Hail signature coming back up a little bit south of Palatka now on the edge of this warning. Start to see what Weather Service decides to do. They probably drop the warning in the north. Do they go ahead and just not reissue anything, maybe an advisory, or do they issue the warning in the south? That could be a question here as we look here down maybe toward areas further down in Putnam and in Flagler County as well. We'll be watching over there. So let's go ahead and see you guys right now. Our GR2 analyst computer. I think that might be a good one to go to here at this point in time. You can see a little bit of the greens and reds, not like a tornadic situation necessarily, but some good wind trying to get down toward the surface here, unfortunately. I know when the warning was being issued, the worst of the wind potential, but just south of Palatka, it seems like some of this wind probably didn't make its way through Palatka, though. There, right, maybe the worst of the wind, maybe because our analyst computer here looks at things, but then our analysis on our other source there with the hail tracker, I mean, it's a situation where it takes a little bit longer for things to catch up, so that could be a little bit of an issue. You definitely see how that wind kind of came on through. As I will say, though, you can kind of see that station there picked up some gusts there. They weren't overwhelming necessarily. 34 miles an hour, so that could be a good sign. But if we had a downburst or something, then that wouldn't necessarily show the full scope of things. So again, we're just gonna keep watching things, keep tracking things here in the Weather Center, just trying to give you the very latest. I'm checking some different things behind the scenes right now, so bear with me as I go ahead and look here. Now in the state of Florida, we have 1,439 customers in the dark, so that's not as high as we had yesterday. more like 10,000, I think it was at one point here on that Friday. So just looking here at the map, though, our overview, you see what's going on in the Doppler, and then we do have, it looks like 81 customers in the dark of Madison County. Again, there wasn't a warning issued over there, so kind of unusual to get a couple damage reports there 20 minutes apart in an area. You get a report here or there, but it seems like it might have had a little bit more than we thought. Toward Madison County there was some damaging weather, it would seem, and then Putnam County's area right now, only 2 customers in the dark at this point, so that's definitely some good news here, but we're just going to keep watching things here in the Weather Center. We'll just see what the Weather Service decides to do over the next few moments. That'll kind of determine how we want to go with this coverage, if we want to keep it going or not. I know another chance of storms tomorrow, so if there is a game 3 in that Gator Super Regional against South Carolina, for those Gator baseball fans out there, it could be something where they have to take the weather into consideration there yet again with some scheduling or delays, things like that. So it's something to keep in mind. I know I'm an FSU fan, but just want to let you guys know, because we do have a lot of folks that go down there to different events here in Palatka County. We're in Bradford County. I know that was the most attended on-campus college baseball game in the history of the state of Florida last night, despite a 2.5-hour delay, apparently. So, I mean, another 2.5-hour delay today, I believe. So that's kind of interesting. But same amount of delays in terms of the time frame. But again, just continuing to watch things here in the Weather Center. Just continuing to track things here. Let me see if there's any questions from any of the viewers right now. I'll go ahead and check here. The source. I know. Let me see here. We have a question. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that question there, but we'll just continue to watch the weather situation here. Again, thanks so much for tuning in, trusting me. I'm just not 100% sure. Maybe I'm misreading that question, but I don't quite understand what you mean there on that YouTube question, if you can clarify that for me. But again, just continuing to watch things here. You see the line of storminess here, southeast Georgia, on that Doppler. There's some lightnings around. I mean, even if you don't have warnings, I've been kind of thinking about this here all day, yesterday as well. You can still have problems, as you saw in Gainesville with your outdoor events here. Whenever thunder roars, go indoors. So, whenever thunder roars, you just want to go indoors in these type of situations. You do not want to mess around here. You do not want to get yourself caught in an adverse scenario here. So, let me go ahead and go back to other Doppler radar technology. I might go ahead and run a loop on this here in just a moment on that. But let's go over here for a moment. You can kind of see what's going on our Doppler right now. Just bear with me as we continue to watch things. It looks like the worst out of the warning at this point. So Satsuma, here's some stronger weather in your neck of the woods there around Satsuma and Putnam County. So nothing that's necessarily severe, but still just got to be kind of mindful here that the weather is not the greatest here in parts of our region. It happens every summer, and it's happening again. So that's just kind of the way things go sometimes here. As we have that warning, that yellow box on the screen right now for another 9 minutes. So, again, just continuing to give you guys all those latest details here in the Weather Center. You can see down toward Pomona Park, there's some heavier downpours there. You don't want to be out on the lakes. I know if you're that thunder roar, you do not want to mess around here. You just want to go indoors. You definitely don't want to mess around with this activity, this action here on the Doppler radar. So, again, just still trying to give you that latest information here. Checking some more things. This effort in the latest. It's a one-man band here in the Weather Center. So, that's just the way it goes sometimes here. If I have to kind of look away here from our computer source number 1 to go to our other source to look at some things that, again, the temperature's cooling off in some parts of the area. I know we cooled off into the upper 70s here east of Stark. That's despite not really getting much rain where we're at, but just kind of getting near some of that, just the overall environment helping to cool things down. So, again, that's just kind of the nature of things here this time of year. So, again, trying to give you guys more insight on what's happening out there. Let me go ahead and go on over toward our other view right now. You can kind of see here You can kind of see here the loop on everything that's happening here at this point in time with the heavier downpours here with some of the thunderstorms. I know the lightning, the loop, it doesn't carry all the way back on the lightning, but just kind of like to show that a little bit longer anyway, just so you can kind of get an idea of the genesis of some of this. You can kind of look toward, let's just kind of look toward the stuff that was moving toward Gainesville 4 hours ago, and then see it go across there, that line of accent we're seeing, and we saw stuff spark and become severe for the first time today in our area in Putnam County, despite it being so impactful with delaying that Gator baseball game against South Carolina 2.5 hours. So again, that's just getting underway now, though, apparently, but we'll go ahead and zoom back on out. We're going to go ahead and zoom back on out here. You see some thunderstorm watches to the west. Looks like we're getting some nastier indications of some hail here around Corsicana. So not what you want to see, obviously, there around Corsicana. For whatever reason, our system is having some trouble, it looks like. Mississippi turning orange here, letting us know this is a more significant severe thunderstorm. I have it in that mode, but for whatever reason, the categories are not classifying this properly here today. I have it in that special mode that kind of tells us it's doing it right in Mississippi, but this is actually a really significant storm despite it just being yellow. This is a considerable threat for damage around Corsicana right now. Some tennis ball size hail possible here south of Dallas. So you don't ever want to see stuff like that. You saw out toward Waxahachie earlier. We had some pretty nasty hail. Let me take off some of my parameters here. It kind of gets cluttered sometimes. A lot on the screen. Just trying to keep an eye on things here in the weather center for you guys. But you know, you see out toward Hillsboro, they're up to 101 there. Last observation out of that part of North Texas. So again, definitely some nasty weather out there and some nasty hail producers here for sure. Again, this, despite it showing in yellow, this is actually having the right mode for this. Should be showing in orange because it's a considerable threat for damage. This storm is as we're looking out toward Corsicana, Texas. So hate seeing stuff like that. You see some stuff there east there, Anderson County, Texas. If a thunderstorm warning in play, so just gonna continue to watch things here in the weather center. You see, this is doing it right here. This orange box is to be orange out toward the west there, but this is a considerable threat for wind there, northwest of Meridian, Mississippi. Again, as we get closer to home here, back toward our viewing area, don't have much toward Tallahassee. Unfortunately, we don't have necessarily baseball super regional going on there. We see there's some light rain maybe around there, but nothing that's just overwhelming on the Doppler algorithms. As I look back over the last 12 hours in rain, those rainfall amounts, you can kind of see here moving toward Jacksonville, at least some lightning producing storms. So don't want to be outside right now in this type of environment if you can help it. I don't want to be outside here in this type of environment. So just don't mess around here. Don't mess around here in this type of setup. As they just dropped a warning, they're expiring that out. It's going to be like go officially at 5:45. But again, just looking at some of the comments here. Again, if you can clarify that, the first comment on here, the question, I'll try to answer that for you. I'm just not sure what you mean exactly, but again, I just thanks so much, Roy, you guys watching there at home, for tuning in, watching this coverage here. Of course, when we're not on the air, you can go to cloudweather.com/radar for an interactive look at things. I'm probably going to wrap it up here pretty soon. You have also there the YouTube platform where we're getting some of these questions, comments right now. You can hit that subscribe button here at Cloud's Weather there on YouTube. You can search on YouTube for meteorologist Casey Cloud as well in that search bar. So a lot of different ways to watch the coverage. We're going to go ahead and start to wrap things up, I think, at this point, since that warning's going off the board. But what's some national concerns? Hopefully, I don't have to come on for anything like that, but a little bit more than we've been seeing here lately. Afterward, like North Texas, you saw that nasty hail around Corsicana that we were illustrating for you guys on some of our different products. So, just going to go ahead and do it for now here, I think. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for trusting me here to give you guys the latest information here in the Weather Center. We'll be back at it tonight, tomorrow, the next day here. whatever it takes to keep you guys safe and informed. So that warning officially going away at 5:45 to watch the 30s move to the south. We'll have to see if we get more warnings, and if we do, we'll let you know about them. Whether it's really by coming on here with a live stream, or if it's just posting about them on Facebook and Twitter. We'll keep you guys safe and informed.